Hello and welcome to Lean In Leander. I'm your host, Andrew Naudine, and this is episode 21. Today's episode is a special episode because I have brought in an expert in the media world to talk about the Oscars, which will be next weekend when this is actually published. So for those of you who would like to tune in and see the Oscars, and I know a lot of us like to do that, it's Sunday, April 25th at 7 p.m. on your local ABC station. So if you're up for that type of thing, tune in early, red carpet, I guess, I don't know, virtual, who knows what they're going to do this year. But I did have an opportunity to speak with Dave Morales. Dave Morales is with Backstage Online. He is a nationally known radio personality. He's worked at top-rated stations in Los Angeles, San Francisco. He worked here in Texas at The Planet, KKPN in Corpus Christi. He was on Party 104.9 and Mix 96.5 in Houston, Texas, my old hometown. In 2011, he launched the Backstage Online programming, and he tells a little bit about that in our interview, but he's interviewed stars like Tom Hanks, Bob Odenkirk. He's a big Disney guy. He knows Jamie Foxx. I mean, it's really, really cool stuff. And so I thought he'd be a good person to talk to. He's actually a voting member on some of these Oscar things. I think he's with the Critics' Choice Awards, I think is what it's called, but we'll talk to him about that. The other thing about Dave is that he's my cousin, so it was easy to get him on the program, and I think it was really enjoyable. I had a great time talking to him about this type of stuff. We normally don't talk about this stuff when we talk, so it was kind of fun for both of us, I think, and I think it should be fun for you too, so I hope you enjoy it. If you're listening, tune it up a little bit, and if you're watching, grab a cup of joe, sit back, and enjoy the show. This is Lean In Leander. I hope you like it. Okay, so I'm here with Dave Morales from Backstage Online. Dave, thanks a lot. I appreciate you joining me here on Lean In Leander.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks for having me. BackstageOL.com is where we reside online, and all our social. I'm going to plug it, dude.
Of course, I expect you to.
Yeah, Backstage OL, Twitter, Instagram. Our YouTube channel is full of celebrity interviews. Just go to YouTube, Backstage OL, of course. Subscribe, notifications bell. All of our new videos that were posted just weekly, every other day. We have interviews coming up with Mortal Kombat. That's an exciting movie. A lot of people are looking forward to. I did see that, and I did like that. So there's a lot of excitement. But yeah, that's what we do.
Nope, I think it's great. I mean, Dave, you've been doing that since around 2011 now, right? It's all 10 years, right?
Backstage, dude, seriously, Andy, thank you so much. June of 2021, which is a couple of months away when we're recording this, is our 10-year anniversary of BackstageOL.com. I can't believe it's already been 10 years. And
I know, that's
we
crazy.
we do cover entertainment for the local Fox affiliate, for maybe those that are watching this right now in the Houston area on Fox 26 Houston. I'm based on the morning show. And I started doing American Idol, and then it just kind of progressed into entertainment and now movies. Before we used to fly and interview actors all over the world. Now we do it all virtually, like you and I are talking, but We cover it. We do it all.
No, it's really crazy. I mean, I in the intro, I talked about your old, your radio career and whatnot. And then this venture in 2011, I remember I think it was you called me or you texted me or something. You're like, hey, we're doing this new thing. Take a look. And I remember taking a look at Backstage Online at that point, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. 10 years later, I mean, you've been interviewing, you've interviewed Tom Hanks, Cameron Diaz, Justin Timberlake, Eddie Murphy, Bob Odenkirk. I saw the other day you did an interview with Jamie Foxx for his new show, which is like Dad,
Don't Embarrass Me.
Yeah, Dad, Don't Embarrass Me. Yeah. Which looks pretty cool, actually. I'm looking forward to that one.
It's funny. It's out on Netflix now. Funny story about it. And if you go to the Backstage OL YouTube channel, you'll see the full length. The thing about it is, like, these interviews that we film are generally about 5, maybe 6 minutes max. Most of the time they're like 4 minutes. And you would think that that's a short time. Well, guess what? For TV, it gets even shorter. They only use TV time is quick time.
Right.
And so we only get to use about 2 minutes of the interview for television, maybe 2:30. But in the extended interview with Jamie Foxx, Watch Your Feet, I'm about to name drop, but I've known Jamie Foxx for a long time. I worked in Los Angeles radio at Power 106 years ago, and Jamie and I have known each other since the In Living Color days. Funny story in the interview with Jamie. He says, Dave, you remember in Living Color when we did interviews, it was like, when are we going to Vegas? Where's the next party? We're not old, but I need to preface that. But, you know, the stories have changed a little bit. He says, Dave, those were the stories then. And now for Dad, stop embarrassing me. He said, now we're talking about hip replacement.
Right.
And I was like, you are, Jamie, not me. You know, but yeah, it's fun for me. Like when you get to interview people that you consider your friends. A lot of them like know my mom. Samuel L. Jackson knows Mom. He always asks for her. They've, you know, been together in a couple of these interview junkets is what they're called. So yeah, it's pretty, it's fun. You know, I lose it when I get the legends. Like Robert Redford, I talk to him. Those are the ones that freak me out. I don't normally freak out, but when you're sitting there across from Robert Redford or Clint Eastwood, I've talked to him. It's a trip, dude. I mean, I know they're people, but it's like, you know, you like, wow, you're Robert Redford. And
no, for sure. I mean, you know, kind of like today's podcast with you. I mean, I think I'm one of the few people who's interviewed Dave Morales.
Stop it. Your history with Dave Morales.
Yeah, right. And I'm also one of the very few people who can say I've known your entire career arc. I've known you, well, heck, before you were on the radio. So
you have stories, and I should.
I do have stories. I have stories.
Press record, I said,
probably pay good money for.
Yeah, we're not going to bring up any of those stories. One in particular, I think you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know. That's why I'm laughing. I told you we were going to laugh on this.
We are laughing.
Anyway, okay. So the point of the episode today, this one's kind of fun because I know Dave, and Dave is an expert in these areas. Actually, Dave, you're a voting member of one of the film critic things, right?
Yes, I am a member of the Broadcast Film Critics Association, the BFCA for short, but they've changed their name now to work with the award show that we put on, the Critics' Choice Awards. Okay. So when you stack up the award shows, we are a precursor for the Oscars. And, you know, the last couple of years, we've been spot on, our group. It's made up of journalists like myself all over the world that vote, you know, on film. So the Critics' Choice Awards, generally it's the Golden Globes you've heard of, and then the Critics' Choice Awards, and then the Oscars. So I get campaigned, I get worked by the studios. I know what films and actors and categories that the studios are looking for. It's a crazy process, Andy. It's like running for office. I never knew this world existed. And like our award show is passed. Oscars are coming up. I can only imagine, you know, it's like the studio reps, they move on to each group. They send you, I get so many collectibles. I mean, nothing extravagant. I mean, I'll get like decks of cards printed with the name of the movie. Don't forget us. Or maybe an autograph poster. Hey, don't forget, we have so-and-so running for best actor. Or maybe I don't drink anymore. But every now and then it's like a bottle of wine signed by the cast, things like that to get into your, you know, mind so that you remember when it comes to voting.
Hey, the Chotskys help. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, as much as we look at entertainment and movies and, you know, it is an escape for us, you know, we get away from our regular life. It's literally what they do for a living. I mean, that's their business, and their business model, obviously, awards help because it gets more people viewing that particular movie. Maybe downloading it, you know, whatever, streaming and everything. I did want to touch a little bit on that because, you know, this year's been really bananas, obviously with the pandemic and COVID upsetting, you know, in large swaths, you know, the entertainment industry as a whole, but specifically the consumer side of that, like the going to the movies. We haven't really been able to go to the movies in a little bit over a year. So with that, you know, it's kind of wreaked havoc, I would say, on the film industry. You know, just real quick, the big question is, do we get back to the movies, or have the studios really kind of leverage the pandemic and move things to streaming? I mean, HBO is a real great example. I think a lot of people recognize that. They're premiering movies on HBO now. What do you think the future holds?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because there was a scandal with Warner Brothers Studios in particular, and we work really close with Warner Brothers as one of our big studio partners, along with Universal, Disney, all of them. But Warner Brothers tried a model because they didn't know, like you said, how long the pandemic was going to go. How long were we going to be out of theaters? And it looks like we're now starting to get into theaters as more people get vaccinated and protocols are in place, and the hospitalizations go down, and we try to get to some semblance of normalcy. But what Warner Brothers did is they decided to take a gamble, and it didn't work for them. It didn't work against them so much on the consumer side as it did on the acting side. They said that they're going to show their big movies, their tentpole is what we call them, movies like Dune is coming out. Wonder Woman is where this whole scandal thing started. We're going to do Wonder Woman in theaters. The same day we're going to release it on our streaming platform, which is HBO Max, a new platform that was struggling to get subscribers in the beginning. Disney Plus has done a great job, of course. The king of it is Netflix, but Hulu's a player in that as well. So many. Tubi's another one. Warner Brothers said, hey, we're going to do both to appease, like you said, the consumer. Well, guess who got mad? The theater presenters who had closed down their properties. People weren't going to the movies. They were losing money. What are we going to do? Shame on you, Warner Brothers. Actors were getting mad because a lot of these contracts were performance-based. In other words, you can sign an actor like Brad Pitt for maybe a couple of million and then say, we're going to give you a percentage of the box office receipts. If that movie does, which a lot of the big ones do, almost $1 billion, yeah, what the percentage is. More than they would have gotten paid just for the role itself. Not to say that base salary is anything to laugh at.
Right.
But so it's going to be interesting as we do. Regal has opened up in across the world. AMC Cinemark stayed open, but they were struggling, man. And also a lot of titles weren't out there. You saw theaters when they first opened. It was like, come see, movies, old movies like The Breakfast Club and things like that, just to get you in the theater. Kind of worked, kind of didn't. People just like, I'm not going to go try to get this virus just so I can go eat popcorn and soda in a theater. Right. Now, big movies are coming out. We've got F9 coming up. We've got the new Tom Cruise Maverick Top Gun movie. There's a lot of big movies that keep getting moved that are now going to be coming out, and they're going to bank on those theater dollars because streaming, Amazon, like Coming to America, Paramount had the film Coming to America, the sequel, which is great, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
We did all those interviews. It was crazy to talk to Eddie and Arsenio at the same time. But like that movie, Paramount, too, they could have made a lot of money.
Oh, for sure.
And they sold it to Amazon, who paid millions.
Yeah.
Maybe tens or hundreds of millions for it. But, that they would have preferred to have had in theaters. So as we continue to get back to any type of normalcy, I think the studios really want, to finish the story, Warner Brothers has now gone back because some of the actors, major agencies were saying, my client is not getting, like Gal Gadot got paid a percentage, whether it did good or bad, streaming or whatever, made $10,000 or whatever. Right. She still got a bonus. I think it was 10 million. Well, how would you like to be another actor in that movie? And like, wait a minute, Gal got this, I'm not getting anything.
Yeah.
So that they're reconfiguring it now, where I think they're going to limit the window of, in other words, it'll be in theaters, and then like 30 days later, you'll be able to screen it on HBO Max or something. They're redoing. It's not going to be like the original deal was.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting thing to watch. I mean, I look at it more from just the business of it, just to kind of, not that I have really any investments or anything like that in that area, but it was interesting to watch because, where that goes, because really what I was thinking is like, wow, theaters have really, really valuable real estate. And if you see a bunch of theaters going out of business now, not like old movie theaters, I think like the River Oaks finally closed there in Houston recently. But that's an older movie theater in an older area. It's not the big giant multiplexes that they have now. And I mean, those are all prime real estate places where those things are. So that's what I was interested in watching, see how that would turn out. Sounds like you're saying we will get back to watching movies in the theater. So I think that's probably...
I can't tell you what studio it was, but I just received an email yesterday. No, actually one this morning too, from a second studio asking about us, Backstage Well, because we also give out free movie passes. Plug. No, I mean, we do.
I know.
And So we give away a ton of free movie passes and other prizes and things like that. And they asked this morning if we would help with a film. I don't remember the title, but we said absolutely. I think it was a Warner Brothers title too.
Cool. All right, so let's get to the Oscars. I know that you have probably, you voted, and I don't know if you can actually say who you voted for.
I'm going to.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
going to. And
so the first thing
my voting, I was mad at my group. And when we get to that category, I'm going to tell you about the one that I wanted. It's the Best Actress category. We'll get to it shortly.
Okay, so it's just really quick because I know people probably know a lot of this stuff, but I know Mank is the most nominated film overall, which in the lore, I mean, I'm not a huge entertainment, guy. I watch what I watch, but I know the lore is that movies about making movies usually do really good. So it has 10 nominations, right? And then let's see, the other notable for me, the other one that was notable was Black Messiah, which I thought was Judas and the Black Messiah. That I thought was a brilliant film. I thoroughly enjoyed that. But the other nominees are The Father, Minari, which I'm not real familiar with, Nomad Land, and Promising Young Woman, which looks really good. Haven't seen it yet. Sound of Metal, and then The Trial of Chicago 7. So have you seen all of those? Did you?
I have seen everything. And, you're in the Best Picture category. And I did make some notes. I knew I was talking to you, so I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts on that. Going into the award season, Globes, the Critics' Choice, things got shaken up. Like what was strong Golden Globes time did not really translate into Critics' Choice. My groups, the strength, some of these projects got stalled, and it's going to be interesting when we get to Oscar Sunday. Who's going to win? It's all over the place.
Right.
So I thought, for sure, Nomadland. To me, that's the one I voted for. Okay. It's an amazing movie. Interesting though, if you want to talk about a category where I think that it's a lock, and if you're filling out your Oscar cards and you're watching this, Chloe Zhao, and I interviewed her for Nomadland. You can find that on our YouTube channel. She was great to talk with. I think she's a lock for Best Director.
Huh. No, I didn't include directors in our list today, simply because I don't think that people are quite as familiar with directors, and I wanted to kind of stick to stuff that people know right offhand. But that's interesting because I looked at Nomadland, and who's the Frances McDormand is the star of that one, right?
Yes.
And she just did the billboards. I can't remember what that was called.
You're talking about 3 Billboards?
Yeah, 3 Billboards, the one that she won the Oscar for, right? And to me, just at face value, I haven't seen the movie, but at face value, that one looked very similar to me. So I kind of
Frances McDormand always plays Frances McDormand.
Yeah.
Let's go back even earlier when she was in Fargo.
Yeah, no, it's the same character. I mean,
she plays that same,
but it's very similar.
Yeah, quirky, but she's so good at it. And
she is.
Nomadland is a story about these people, and they do exist, that just pack sell all their belongings, basically fill up their car and just drive. And there are nomads that live this life, and that's what inspired Chloe to write it. And if you watch the interview, that's what she told me. There are real nomads in this movie. They used real people in real settings. It's an emotional movie. Yeah. It makes you think about. This is going to sound so cliche, but it's a reflection of life,
right?
And how you're living your life. Yeah, and she's, dude, Frances is so good. Unfortunately, I don't think she's going to get Best Actress, but I knew we'll get to that in a minute. But I do see, but since we're talking Best Picture, here's what's happened.
Who's your pick?
No, well, I'm going to go with Nomadland, but let me tell you who's getting gas behind it. There's a ton of momentum since the SAG Awards. I left those out. I'm sorry. SAG Awards just happened. Screen Actors Guild. They are the actors vote on actors. They vote amongst themselves. SAG-AFTRA, and I'm a member of AFTRA only because of my radio days in California. We had to be union. but I don't vote in those movies. But the Screen Actors Guild just had their awards. So many movies got wind in their sails from winning, and one of them was The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Really?
Netflix, dude, Netflix really, really. I've got a poster around here somewhere of the one that they campaigned for last year. I forgot the name. It was the one that was in Spanish. Roma.
Roma. Good.
They
movie.
wanted an Oscar for that movie so bad.
Yeah. Oh, but that was such a good movie,
dude. It's really good. Netflix and Amazon, they're legitimate.
Yeah.
But still, people. A lot of the studios, the classic studios, go, oh, it's Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazon Prime. Netflix and Amazon really want an Oscar because it will legitimize them as a movie contender.
Sure, absolutely.
They've got some great titles this year, and Trial of the Chicago 7 is one that may win the Oscar based on the nominations or the wins that they had at the Screen Actors Guild, because I don't think it won the Globe. It won some awards, if I'm certain, but I know that like at our group, Trial of the Chicago 7. You know what? To be honest with you, I think that because I voted for Nomadland, or did we vote for Nomadland? I'm gonna have to look this up, Andy. I'm so sorry, but no. Well, because a lot of us had said Trial of the Chicago 7, great movie, but not going to win the Oscar. Well, when the SAG Awards and they won, people were like, second look. And if you look at any of these predictors coming up, Trial of the Chicago 7, Aaron Sorkin's the director. He won't win Best Director, but his stock did go up. Chloe Zhao is going to win that one. But, people are taking a second look. Funny that we're recording your podcast today, because today is the deadline for Oscar voters to put their votes. Today is the deadline.
So that'll be locked in today, and then we'll see it next weekend.
Correct.
7 p.m. Central Standard Time, April 25th, Sunday,
Correct.
April 25th, on ABC. So
another network. Yeah. So, and I'm just gonna finish up, and then we'll move on to the next categories. But Sacha Baron Cohen is in that movie, and he's not playing the silly man. He has received nominations, I believe, in the supporting actor category. He's not going to win, but
he's got chops, though. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Even with all the silliness and then it takes a lot to do those kind of characters, but I think he's got deeper chops. I really think he's a good actor.
I voted for the girl that's in Borat for Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah, she was great.
I thought she did a great job.
Oh, she did. Film. Just the Giuliani thing alone deserves the award.
Well, oof, yeah. What is her name? Right. Anyway,
I've got it here. Let's see.
Maria Bakalova.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
All right. So you're picking Nomadland. I think Judas and the Black Messiah was tops in my books.
It's going to win some awards.
Yeah,
and we'll get to that. We'll get to that as we get to those categories. Unless you want to move on to like actress or actor, you're the host.
Well, we're going to run out of time, so we have to.
Okay. Well, let's jump into actress. I know. I told you.
You want to do actress first? Okay, we'll do actress first.
Promising young woman, Carrie Mulligan. She has been getting steam. Well, here's the one. She won at the Critics' Choice Awards. My group. I did not vote for her. I interviewed Carrie. If you're watching, sorry. I actually voted for Andra Day, United States versus Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
Awesome movie.
Yeah.
It's her first role ever.
In
the interview that I talked with Andra, she told me I was with her director, and she said, I swear I thought I was going to get fired after day one because he would think that Lee Daniels did that one, and that I was not a good actress. And she won a Globe. Okay. So her momentum was there. So I voted for her for the Critics' Choice. And then Carrie Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. She actually won the Critics' Choice.
She did.
So I wonder how that's going to translate. Now, going with what I've discussed already with the theories, guess who won at the SAG Awards? Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Yeah. This category, Andy, is what I'm telling you, is all over the place. Yeah. I don't even know if I could predict. I guess maybe Carrie Mulligan. That's a haunting movie. It deals with sexual assault. And it's a lady that's out for revenge, and I'm not going to ruin anything else.
Yeah, no, it's on my list. I've been waiting to watch it, and Chris, my wife, and we have this constant argument. There's stuff that I will watch, but she'll assume that I'm not going to watch that movie, and I'm like, I'm totally interested in that movie. So it's been in the queue, and we haven't watched it.
Watch it, but you're not going to be like running around after the movie going, oh boy, let's have some ice cream. You're going to be, you are seriously going to be like,
Yeah, dude, that's probably a 3 or 4 beer movie for sure.
Before it starts, I would hope, because it's because, and I'm not discounting the topics that it
Yeah,
deals
no,
with.
no, no, no. I mean,
But
it
what I am
looks
saying is that
absolutely
it's very
fantastic.
intense.
Yeah, no,
It's
it looks
intense.
fantastic. It looks
Yeah.
fantastic. I've got Andra Day on that one. I think that she became Billie Holiday in that role. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I thought she was fantastic. I
She
really
sang.
did.
She took on all the songs.
Oh yeah, no, she's just I mean that to me is just next level. I mean, it's a little bit easier for someone of her caliber singer because she's a brilliant singer.
Right.
But to be able to take, she didn't play herself playing Billie Holiday. I really felt she inhabited the character. I really did. I thought she did such a good job.
I hope she wins.
I do
she's
too.
a sweetheart.
She's my favorite.
I enjoyed talking with her. There is one category, Andy, that I will tell you right now that do you want to talk about the best actor category? Because that'll be a very short conversation.
Chadwick Boseman.
He's going to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Not because of his passing, which is tragic, because he's brilliant. Or he was brilliant. And I felt that before you knew. And then once you knew that he was dealing with what he was dealing with and he was still such a brilliant actor, it just puts it over the top. But yeah, I agree with you there. I think that factor outweighs everything else. And if you look at the other, even the other nominees, I mean, Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman, I think Gary Oldman does a great job in Mank. I mean, from what I've seen, but he's kind of Gary Oldman. He's always Gary Oldman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't seen that movie yet, but I was like, nah, I don't want to see that.
Well, when you said Mank earlier, I don't even know, as you hear this conversation between us, I don't even know if Mank's going to get anything, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's got 10 nominations, but again, like we said at the top, movies about movies or making movies or people in movies, they tend to vote for those. They tend to
Hollywood loves stories
Hollywood loves talking about itself.
Yes. Yeah. I knew Chadwick. I interviewed him several times.
That's cool, man. That's cool. You're blessed. He was a good man. He was.
Thank you. He was
a really good man.
The last time I talked to him, and all these interviews are on our YouTube channel, was for a movie, 12 Bridges. And I actually took Mom, my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I took her to meet to that junket in New York, and she met Chadwick. And it was funny because a story that I haven't really told a lot, but when we were walking out, said, "Hey, Chadwick, by the way, this is my mom." He's like, "This is your mom." And he was sick at the time. We knew later, did not know that at the time, but now we know.
Right.
And he got up and he hugged her, and Mom from the corner did this, and he smiled, and he did the Wakanda Forever. And he says, and he smiled like this. And then he went like that and gave Mom the Wakanda Forever hand sign. Chadwick was great. Yeah. I am so happy because for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, like you said, Andy, it's not a sympathy vote. It's not.
No, he's brilliant.
Genuinely, yeah, he needs he deserves the accolades, and he's a lock. I think he won at the Critics' Choice. He won at the Globes. I think he's going to win at the Oscars. Yeah, man.
So let's go to supporting actor from there.
Okay, supporting actor. You're going to be happy with who I predict, and I did vote for him in this one. Talked to him for the movie as well. Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah.
I agree.
Here's how the story is interesting, is because when this whole season started, one night in Miami, a friend of mine, I'm not trying to name drop, but I really do know her, Regina King directed that. And I know Regina.
Really good. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
So good. Leslie Odom Jr., who plays Sam Cooke. I told everybody when this whole season started, when we ran the interviews on Fox 26 in Houston, I looked on the camera on air and I said, put this on your Oscar card. He's going to win Best Supporting Actor. That's how much this changes over the time period of the season of the award season, because Paul Raci is another one who I thought was going to win. Had a good shot of Sound of Metal, his first role. Riz Ahmed in that one is great. Sound of Metal is awesome. But Daniel Kaluuya is going to win. It shifted from Leslie Odom Jr., who again is great, but it's because of the moment. It's the momentum. That's the word I'm looking for. Has shifted, and now I think Daniel Kaluuya is going to win.
Yeah, no, I think he I mean, and talk about perfectly timed appearances. His appearance on SNL a couple of weeks ago was like, that's perfect timing. I don't know who books him, but that was great.
Well, also the girl from Promising Young Woman,
Yeah, no,
Carrie
that's what she was
Mulligan.
last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a great article that somebody wrote that I saw recently about the SNL factor. You know what, Andy? This is part of the campaigning.
Yeah, no,
There is a reason that they are getting in front of people right now because
absolutely.
a lot of Oscar voters are tuning in, watching and says, you know what? Look at their range. Yeah, I'll vote for Carrie Mulligan. There's a reason for it.
That's crazy. That's great. She was actually good in SNL too. I thought she was pretty funny.
She was real good.
Anyway, okay, so let's see. That leaves us with best supporting role actress. This one,
Yes.
This one, I have no idea. I have a favorite, but I have no idea.
Who's your favorite?
I like Amanda Seyfried. I
She's
just
won
like
everything
her.
else.
I haven't seen the movie. I just like her. So
I voted for her for Mank, and she's won everything else. Every other award show she has won. No, wait a minute. I voted for Maria Bakalova, didn't I?
Bakalova,
I did.
from the
Going
Borat.
back a couple, for Borat.
I would love to see her win. I think that would be great. I think it'd be great. I mean, Amanda's a personal favorite of mine just because I think she's cool. I like her.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't seen the movie. I did see the Borat movie, and I thought Maria did a phenomenal job in that. And like we said before, just for the Giuliani piece, I mean, like, come on, give her an Oscar for that.
Right. Amanda had a lot of momentum. But going into the Oscars, and again, today's the last day of voting, actress Ju Young Yoon from Minari is now projected to be the favorite. She may win it. It's going to come down to Yu Young Youn and Amanda Seyfried for the best supporting actress. The momentum, I will tell you, going into last voting day is with Yu Young from
I
Minari.
thought you were saying me. I thought I was going to get an Oscar.
No, you're not. Yu Young Yoon from Minari. But don't be surprised maybe if you hear Amanda's name on Oscar night because, like you said, Hollywood loves Hollywood. And Amanda did a really good job in that film.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pieces of it. I've seen clips of her. And again, like she's actually she's one of the very few actresses that I kind of keep an eye on. I look for her. So I did watch a few, outtakes and whatnot of that particular movie. She looks really good in that role. Obviously, I'd have to watch the whole movie to get a sense of it, but I think she's a good actress. I think
she is. We've talked to her a couple of times for other roles, and she's always been a good interview. She takes it very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to tell me, Dave, you're going to go talk to Amanda Seyfried this afternoon, I'm like, okay, pleasant experience, but she's straight to the point. Mm-hmm. Like there's some like Cameron Diaz, you mentioned her, and I haven't talked to her in a while, but she's so good. And Melissa McCarthy's another one, just engaging. Amanda is too, and I'm not discounting her, but
I get you.
She's as far as personalities and when you're in the room with them or even virtual talking to them, others exude more of a personality than others. And Amanda, she's sweet, but to the point. So that's cool.
Yeah, no, she's a professional. She takes her craft seriously. That's how she strikes me. I saw something. Can't remember what it was on. She was just featured on something recently. It was an interview with her. I don't know if it was one of the morning shows or if it was one of the Sunday shows, but she lives out on a farm and she actually feeds the goats and stuff like that. So she lives a real kind of like not Hollywood life.
Right. And I believe that. Because now that you mentioned that, I did not know that. It wasn't my interview that we talked about the farm. No. But now that you mentioned that, looking back on Amanda, yeah, I could see that because she's real, she's fun. She's not depressing, but she's no nonsense. And she's Amanda. But
No, that's cool. All right. So, Dave, I know you're a big fan of animation. I know you're a Disney guy. Okay. David actually, once a year, right? It's the annual pilgrimage to Disney World, right?
Well, before the world COVID went crazy, it was every 6 weeks.
Okay. So it's a little bit more so than that.
I would have a rare weekend when I wasn't traveling to wherever to shoot interviews. My mom is also an annual pass holder, and I was like, "Hey, let's go to Florida." I've accrued miles, airline points, and so
I just go to Orlando, on Southwest all the time. So yeah, I know you're one of Southwest Airlines' favorite
They're looking for me. It's funny you say that, but I have people from Southwest have been hitting me up recently. Like, are you ever coming back? I'm like, soon. And I've been told that we will be traveling again real soon.
Okay.
Yeah, but animation, Disney's going to win. Again, it's a great movie. It's called Soul, Disney Pixar.
Yeah.
And there is another one, though, in this category that I think should get a second look. It's not going to win, but I want to plug it. If you're looking for something fun to watch with kids, family, entire family enjoyed the movie. There's a few of them, but the one that stands out, other than Soul, is Wolfwalkers.
I've heard some things about that. I haven't seen it though.
You got to watch it. You will love it.
Okay.
Wolfwalkers. It's an Irish animation studio that put it out. We did interviews with them, and it's such a great story. It's like a watercolor. The style of the animation is watercolor.
Very cool.
So yeah, and then two others on the animation category, because you're right, it is my favorite category. Netflix had one called Over the Moon, which if Disney was not in the category, probably that one would get another look. And there's an Onward, which is a Pixar film, not Disney, but it's Pixar. Onward, great film. We covered those interviews. Friend of ours, friend of the show, Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, and we talked to them in person for that. That's a really fun one. But yeah, I just talk about Jamie Foxx. I should have brought that up with him. Soul is probably going to win the Oscar.
Yeah, I really liked Soul a lot. For me, what Pixar has done for animation, to me, I thought it obviously it breathed a whole new life into animation as an art form, in my opinion, and really gave the technical side of the artistry. It showed what you can do with computers. I mean, basically, at the end of the day, when you can do the stuff that you can do, to hand animate like Disney used to, and draw the cells, and which are fabulous. I mean, you probably have a few, right? You probably have a good cell.
I do actually. I could do show and tell. I think yes, I do actually. There's one that I haven't hung yet, but here's an animation cell that I own.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Why isn't this hanging? I don't know why it's not hanging.
That's what you should have behind you instead of the tree.
That's the tree. I like the tree. Oh, that's a camera, actually. That is
no. You were telling me earlier about the tree that you made.
Yeah, well, talk to the decorator. I think you know her.
I'll tell her. I'll tell her to hang. The
only thing about this funny is if you do that because of the lighting that I have in here, it's hard to get where it's not. There's not the reflection.
Okay.
I've got the lights. It looks like a TV screen.
No.
I
get that issue. I understand what you mean. You can see my Zoom light back there. So.
Right. I see the ring. Yeah. But so Pixar, if I tell you you're going to watch a Pixar film, you know what it's going to look like. If I tell you you're going to watch a Disney movie, you know what it's look like. I've actually been to both studios, the one in Burbank, Disney, and then Pixar in Emeryville, Northern California. They have all their Oscars there. It's insane to watch. I've actually been taken into a warehouse where they keep a lot of the props and the models and the figures that they've used in movies. That's cool to watch, but they live for this category. Disney lives, obviously, for the animation category. So on the odd chance that it doesn't win in the animated, and I think recently there was an award show that they didn't win, and I was like, wow. But regarding the Oscars, Soul is going to win Best Animated.
So we're gonna wrap up, Dave, on music, because former DJ, former radio host, I'm sure that you're still super tuned into the actual music. And for one of the things that I always watch the Oscars for is Best Original Song, because I find it fascinating what wins. Okay, and in the last decade or so, it hasn't been quite as predictable as it was at one point, because it was like you kind of almost knew which song would win because it was certain writers or certain lyricists, like Diane Warren. I think she wins it every freaking year. It's crazy, but it's just because not to take anything away from her brilliance, mind you. That's not the point. The point is it becomes predictable. It's almost like, well, that's who they know, And I don't know enough about. More about that than I do, but. This year, Best Original Song has a couple of really, really good songs. Like the one, Speak Now, that's in One Night in Miami, I think is it's a good song. It's on my playlist. It's one I play. And then Fight for You, because I love her. I think she's great. I think she's one of my favorites. Absolutely, hands down, I think she's one of the most unappreciated artists currently in music. I think she's brilliant.
I'll go with that.
She kills on the guitar. I mean, unbelievable stuff that she does. I mean, you can what's her name? Annie Clark, St. Vincent. She's a great guitar player too. But when you comparison, when I look at her, I think Prince when she starts playing. I honestly do.
It's funny you mentioned Diane Warren. I've met her a couple of times, and she's got a movie, some music she wrote with Glenn Close. I'm talking to Glenn Close coming up, I think next week. I read that Reba McEntire is part of that, and Diane Warren, and they're waiting to get confirmation. I know I'm talking to Glenn Close, but I believe I'm going to also be talking with Diane and Reba. I'm going to let Diane know what you told me just now. I'll tell her that you said that. No, but
I'm sure it'll make a big difference to her.
Well, everybody probably says, Diane, really? Can you not enter 1 year? Speak Now is my choice. One Night in Miami, Leslie Odom Jr. wins that. It's interesting, and I just want to end, and I'll tell this last story. A friend of mine, Common, I've known Common since my radio days, and of course he won years ago, and I'll never forget the performance that he did. Selma was the film, and when he did that performance, and Common and I have talked. I hope I have it on camera. I've talked to him so many times. He freaks out every time I walk in because he always thinks of me. He and Ice Cube think of me as radio, and when I walk in to talk to them television, like, what are you doing? And I look right back. I'm like, what are you doing? You're doing movies. But Common broke down what that feeling is to win the Oscar for Best Song. He said, and I'll use this word again, and I used it earlier when we were talking about Netflix and Amazon. He said, Dave, it legitimizes a lot. It's that big prize, and you don't need to win an Oscar to be successful. There's a lot of actors, musicians, and the like, even with the Grammys, that haven't won awards. But for Common, it was just that redemption, that whole, we did it. And so now, I love the performances. I hope they have, I'm sure they will for the Oscars again this year. But Best Song is a category that I really like, along with animation, because, like you said, the music is what also tells the story as you're watching the movie. There's another category for score. I think Tenet wins that one, maybe. But the music is such a vital part of the motion picture watching experience. So a lot goes in. The music has to fit. So for me, that's why One Night in Miami, Speak Now, really.
I think I would agree with you on that. I do like Fight for You as a song standalone. Like I went back before I did this interview. I went back and I listened to all of them just to kind of make sure. Okay, I've heard a couple of them, but I wanted to listen to all of them because if they're all nominated, they've all got to have some redeeming value at some level. And so I listened to all of them just as a song without any context on the movie. And I thought Fight for You was the best standalone song, but I agree with you. I think Speak Now does more for the movie than Fight for You does. The one that I would literally fall out of my chair if the Husavik wins. Which it's crazy that it's even nominated, in my opinion, because that movie is just hilariously hilarious. But
we covered that. We covered that one.
Oh my God, Will Ferrell. He's insane. He's crazy. He's just crazy.
Well, the good news, and I'll close on this, even though I've closed, I think, 80 times, but I really will on this one. The good news is you are not going to fall out of your seat on Oscar night. It's not going to win. So.
Well, I just want, it would be wonderful if they would actually perform it like in character. Like if Will Ferrell actually showed up to perform it, that would be insane. That would be.
He would
do it. He would totally do it. Anyway. All right. Well, that's the Oscar wrap up on this special episode of Lean In Leander. So don't forget, if you're a fan of the Oscars, you'll be able to watch that next Sunday. This is going to date this episode, but maybe you watch it in August and remember. I don't know. But next Sunday, April 25th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the network the American Broadcast Corporation, right?
It's owned by Disney. I like them. I have a lot of friends at ABC.
There you go, Disney.
That's good.
All right. Dave, thanks a lot. I appreciate you taking the time. This has been fun.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.